Good morning, everyone. It's Kate Richburg, and it is time for Free Tip Friday. I've got my mobile device here, and I'm just going to pull up our broadcast on there so I can see everybody hopefully jumping on and getting ready for a fun Free Tip Friday. I hope your week has gone well. We've been so busy here at beadshop.com, but I'm really glad it's Friday so I can get to some projects and some good stuff. And I see everybody's here. Fantastic. I can see everybody coming in, so I'm just going to put that right over there and say good morning, though my comments aren't showing up on my feed here on my other screen, but I can see your comments here, so I will. Let me just see. You know, as you know, I'm a filming force of one on Fridays. So, but I think I've got you. I think I've got you up here on the comments. So it's great to have everybody here today. I hope you had fun on Wednesday's epic float necklace, Emily's float project. I thought it was really, really fantastic. And I was really pleased that so many of you already over at the bead table have been making such cool stuff. So I'm really, really stoked about that. Well, it's good to see everybody. Thank you, Rosie. Thank you, everybody's jumping on. Drea just jumped on. We've got people all over the place. Ellen, I see Bonnie. It's great to have everybody here. It's great to have you all. And I see Carolyn. I'm doing the usual romper room litany of faces and friends, right? But it's great to have everyone. And of course, Gita is here as beadshop.com doing some linking for us. So thank you, Gita, for that very, very much for doing those links, as always, across the miles. Okay, so if you have not jumped on and gone over to the Bead Table, which is our private Facebook group, you can go over there after this broadcast, jump on and answer some questions, and we'll jury you in. We like to make sure that, you know, the people who join us are beaders and not spammers or other kind of crazy people. So there's just 3 little questions that you need to answer. And then you can jump on and see some of the great stuff that is going on over there. We're also having, let me mention, not next week because I'll be gone, but the week after that, we're going to be doing a very special bead table group only sale, live sale actually, of some of our items left over from our trunk show. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So that's going to be coming up, not next week, not the first week of October, but sometime during the second week, and I'll have more information about that for you guys too. So it's great. It's, oh great, I can't wait. All of you guys are saying how many floats you've done and everything. I cannot wait to see that, to see more of them. You guys have been so super prolific. Janice is doing her moving this weekend, so she's moving into our permanent home back east in Alexandria. So we know that she's working hard and packing and getting everything moved. So we're sending out all good vibes to JP about that. And next week, you guys, we have something that's really exciting. Some of you have gone on this journey with me before, but I'm leaving on Wednesday for Cleveland, Ohio. I know. Woo! Cleveland. They'll let me actually say that the Cleveland Art Museum is one of the best art museums I have ever been in my life. I love it. Run, don't walk if you're near Cleveland. It's a beautiful, beautiful museum. But I am going to film the next season of Beads, Baubles, and Jewels, which, as you may know, is hosted by the wonderful Katie Hacker. Right now, the current season is going on, and you can see the episodes that I filmed last time I went. You have to sign up for their site to access it all, but if you also go to Beads, Baubles, and Jewels on YouTube, a lot of those are on there already, so you can see the many seasons that I've filmed, the evolution of my bob going to short to long, to short to long, but anyway, it's a lot of fun. So this time we are going to film not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, what I just heard from the producers. We're actually doing, I'm laughing because it's ridiculous, 5 episodes of Beads, Baubles, and Jewels. It's so crazy. We're going to do some really fun things. So I am doing an Odyssey project. We're doing a Bollywood project. I have a couple of other fun like metal things that we're doing and everything. So it's going to be really, really fun. So I'm filming on Thursday of next week. So Cara is going with me, and we'll be doing a lot of Facebook Lives from behind the scenes, so you can see how it's set up and what it really takes to kind of film that kind of craziness. It's all live to tape, so I have to be one take Richburg and do it all in one take. We very rarely stop. So each episode in one take, not all 5. But there's going to be a lot of hijinks from the set. Hopefully we can get some really great insight and wisdom from Katie Hacker and talk to her a little bit, maybe about her designing journey and what she's up to lately. She's doing some cool things. And I have no idea who else is filming with me that day. So hopefully we'll get to see other guests and what they're doing and stuff. So it's going to be a day, that Thursday, jam-packed full of beady goodness. So, and thank goodness Cara is coming with me. And again, all shout out to everybody whenever I go to Cleveland, anywhere in the Midwest really, because I'm a West Coast girl. But it's always so welcoming, so wonderful, and I can't wait to get back there. But again, the art museum, so beautiful. Someday I'll tell you the story of my adventures at that art museum when we have a little more time. So that's what I've got going on for next week. But today we've got some more stuff to make. So shall we? I'm going to turn the camera around, and you guys will see as I turn the camera around, I have a friend here who doesn't want to leave my beading table. So we're going to see how that works out. Some of you know who that friend might be. So so I'm going to turn this around and we'll see. I'll show you what's going on here. There we go. We've got all of our devices. And there you can see is a naughty pants who doesn't want to leave my space. So we'll see how this is all going to go. You know, all of you guys know that, you know, you bead with cats, right? Bead with your pets, right? So I'm going to lift this up just a little bit, and we'll see how he behaves. If he becomes a naughty pants, we'll just have to banish him. But we'll see how this goes, right? Also, my mom gave a shout out here, and I'll see if, yeah, I'm definitely not the boss of that kitty, Drea. My mom just gave a shout out. You know, she lives out in Fresno, California, and she found a little rescue dog, a little rescue poodle. And so I don't know if any of you have contacts in Fresno, California, or pet contacts or whatever, but Mom, what you can do is maybe you can give a little bit of info or something maybe in the comments. You can also go to my mom's Facebook page. If you're part, you can probably just click on her comment and go over to her Facebook page. But if anyone is missing a sweet little white poodle in Fresno, California, my mom found him. So hopefully she'll get him reunited with her, with his family. So that's the story. I'm going to move this over because you know what? Alfred does not need to be in this photo. in this picture, so bear with me here. Why did I think that this was a good idea today, right? Let's get this over a little bit. I'm going to move my desk chair over because God forbid you wake a sleeping cat, right? What's the story? You never wake a sleeping cat or a sleeping baby. So we'll just keep him over there for now. So thanks for hanging with me. You know, our Wednesday broadcasts, as you know, those of you who do watch our Wednesday broadcasts, they're much more polished and practiced than this. So my free tip Friday is always a little bit off the cuff. So thank you always for bearing with me on that. All right, so I think this looks pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, Kathy, he's so napping. He's such a funny boy. But he's a good boy, and we are so lucky to have him. So let's take a look here. Yeah, I remember that ginger stuff on my cat, right? Well, we'll see if he, maybe we'll put him to work and see what happens there. But anyway, so bless him. Bless that little monster. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, Fur Tip Friday. Thank you, Kim Crawford. Thank you. Yes, you'll be here all week. Thank you. It's so true. So let me show you a few of the things I'm going to be using. Gosh, my bead table is just a mess, right? I'm still kind of re-entering from my vacation, so I'm sorry if I'm kind of all over the place. Oh my goodness, but I think we've got it. Oh, and there's my friend Francesca, there's my friend Tammy. Yay, everyone's here. I love it. We're all beading together. You know, one of the things that I really cherish about this beading time that I have with you guys is that we can be a little more casual and can kind of, you know, talk things out and be creative. You can see, you guys, I, again, as usual, on Free Tip Friday, I have kind of a vague idea that came to me in the shower this morning about what I was going to do. And then I'm just kind of, you know, winging it from there. You know, I haven't done Free Tip Friday in a while, so I've almost forgot how to film myself. Oh my goodness. There we go. All right. So I think we are, we're good to go, or almost good to go anyway. I'm just going to jump in. So someone also asked, I think earlier, I'm going to show you just real quick, about the earring that I was wearing. And this earring, you guys can see, some of you may remember this from, I think it was Softflex Earring, the very amazing name, creative name that I gave it, Softflex Earrings. But they just are drops and 3mm fire polish and some size 11 seed beads. Super, super easy. And you can see on our website, if you go to our projects at beadshop.com, you can see all of our wonderful projects that go on there. But the Softflex earring was super easy. And again, you guys, we are careening towards the holidays. You know, fall is here, and it is time to start thinking about making your jewelry for the holidays. These are a great one. Super fast, easy to make. You can make them big or small, whatever works for you. So so that's that. So I just wanted to give a little shout out there. And yes, Drea just linked them. They are the Fiesta colorway, and Drea and Gita both, thank you ever so. Let me see if I've got a light. Does it feel dark in here? I don't know if I do have a light, but let me see if I can actually turn the blinds. I'm going to open the blinds up a little bit, and maybe we can get a little more light here. There we go. That's a little bit better. Oh, the blinds disturbed His Highness over there in the corner, so just take a chill pill, Alfred. Just take a chill pill. Okay, so on Wednesday, I'm going to get a little tighter in here so you guys can see this. On Wednesday, you guys will remember we did Emily's float, and you can see all of those details, of course, on beadshop.com. One of the things that I really loved sharing with you was how to do this closure. And the closure that I did was using a silk wrap. And one of the things I want to share with you today again is just going over this silk wrap one more time. I've got some other things I want to silk wrap here. And really using a button as the closure. You know, I'm going to be doing the Odyssey project for Beads, Baubles, and Jewels, and so I'm really thinking about, you know, buttons and how important, you know, the right button is to the project. And I just think it's a really easy and fast way, and you know, even if you don't get buttons from us, I bet you have a button box, right? I have my Grand's button box. My mom has part of Grand's button box, which was her mother's button box and stuff, and we've collected buttons for years and years. And so I really think that a button is such a perfect closure. So if you do nothing else this week, and you want to, or this weekend, and you want to feel kind of creative, just sort through your buttons, right? That should get some creative juices flowing, okay? So remember that I used the silk. I used a size 6 Griffin silk on the card, sorry. And I love the hand of it. I love the way it turned out with this necklace. But I also thought you could use 1,000,001 different cords, right? And no exaggeration, we carry so many different ones. And I thought that CKC, what we call CKC, or Chinese knotting cord is its real name. The Chinese knotting cord is perfect for a float, like Emily's float. And so this Chinese knotting cord that I have, I pulled just 2 random ones, okay? 0.5 millimeter and 0.4 millimeter, because I thought not only could you mix colors with this, but you could mix sizes, and then that also gives you more ideas for beads, right? So let me get this one open, okay? And whoops, come on. There we go. So I've got a 0.4, a 0.5. Then I also grabbed, what the heck, it was actually just sitting on my desk because I was looking at it. I grabbed the salmon Irish wax linen. Do you know Irish wax linen? Do you know it and love it? Right? So that's these 3 cords so far. I've got these. Okay, let me get a little tighter so you can see it. Then I thought, well, what the heck, right? I would get some leather. So I got a 0.1 millimeter. You could also get, or not 0.1, sorry, 1 millimeter. You could also get a 0.5 millimeter too, right, to mix in there. But look at these 3. I'm going to try and get them up really close to the camera here so you guys can see this. It's kind of hard to see, but let me get close in my hand there so you can see them. So what I've got here is the 1 millimeter. This is metallic turquoise. This is the 0.4 millimeter Chinese knotting cord, or CKC, in Poseidon. This is the salmon Irish wax linen. And then at the end, the last one, I've got the Williamsburg blue Chinese knotting cord in the 0.5. So, you know, this is a great thing to use with scraps as well. So, I don't know. So we'll see what happens here. Okay? So I also got, so I'm going to set these cords aside. Hopefully they're not going to tangle into a big mess. Let me just undo this, because you never, ever know. Yeah, Drea, what are you doing on here? You need to be working on episode notes, lady. No, it's like Drea writes a term paper a week for beadshop.com, right? With those episode notes. How would you like it if you had to write a gosh darn term paper every week, right? Drea's incredible, amazing. So thank you so much for doing those notes, Drea, because I certainly could not do them. You're amazing, amazing. So then I thought about, well, let me back this up, because we've got some brand new Green Girl things, right? Green Girl beads and components and stuff that just came in. And so I want to lay these out for you for a second. If you don't know Cynthia Thornton, and many of you do know Cynthia Thornton, the genius behind Green Girl Studios, you can go and give her, you know, I would first and foremost give her Instagram a follow, and I think if you search Green Girl on Insta, you'll find her Insta. She posts all kinds of really, really cool stuff. And the thing about Cynthia is, and I've known Cynthia for, I don't know, 20 years probably now, a long, long time. And yes, I'm bragging. Yes, I am. That's my friend. But she has a really singular view of art. And she taps into her art from like this crazy well inside her, this crazy well of imagination. Both she and her brother Andrew Thornton, and you can find Andrew in his store at Linger, Pennsylvania. It's called Allegory Gallery. You can find both of those guys, both of them there. They both have this kind of seemingly unending well of creativity, and I've learned so much from both of them, and I'm really very grateful for that. But Cynthia's pieces are so whimsical, and we got a brand new smattering of whimsy from her. This catfish, this little, look at the little Japanese girl holding the kitty cat, which is so cute, and then this little, the little elephant, the sea turtle, all of these guys, the elephant with wings, all of these are so, so cool. This big kind of goldfish pondy kind of thing is the one I wanted to call out today, because you may or may not have something like this in your stash at home that doesn't really have loops on it, doesn't really, you know, there's no specific way to attach this. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to focus on this guy so you can kind of see how this might go together. So let's put that one to the fore, and you can go on the website, beadshop.com, and see all of these really great Green Girl things. Really good. I'm going to see, I still feel it's like a little dark in here, you guys. Will you just bear with me while I turn on my other lamp and see if I can get it a little lighter in here? It's kind of a gloomy day here in California, so our typical end of summer weather pattern here in the Bay Area. So I'm going to see if I can get even just a little more light over where I am so you guys can see just a little bit better. There we go. A little more light. We've got it. Yes, I think that's good. I think we can see a little better there. Yes, that's better. Okay. Alrighty, that's good. Okay, so let's start with, so when I was thinking about this, my usual thinking about this in the shower before Free Tip Friday, right, kind of thing. I was thinking about, well, I want to do something that kind of dovetails on the float idea, right, that we were doing on Wednesday. And I wanted to pull in a Green Girl focal, okay? So I'm just going to do this with some ideas with this little bit of Chinese knotting cord here. And I'm going to float through some ideas, and then we'll figure out which one we like the best, okay? And let's pretend also that these are really long strands. I'm just going to kind of play around with this for now. First thing I look at here when I'm using this focal, when I'm working with this piece, let me see if I can get the camera in just a little bit tighter. There we go, a little bit better. Is I take a look and I try and see what are the possible connection points on this piece, okay? We get in a little tighter here. So you can see it has a nice thick edge around, a nice thick rim, so it would take thread really, really well. And there's a lot of holes here to use, okay? There's a hole right in here. There's a hole over here. There's a hole over here. A hole in here. One over here. okay? So this could, there's so many options for this. Let me get, pardon my reach over here while I get some, there we go. Let me get some Post-it notes here. So something like this could simply just find the hole. Maybe it's like this. I like the way that this is sitting. And threads or whatever could come out here and be silk wrapped, come up there. They could come around here, silk wrapped, come up there. And at the bottom, like a lot of tassels, could be connected down there at the bottom, right? That's one way we could connect it. We could, let me put that one aside. We could also say that we wanted this inline in the necklace so that maybe, you know, we attached, I don't know, even 3 individual strands like that. And then 3 individual strands coming down here. And how we attach them right now isn't important. This could be thread that could be knotted on. This could be soft flex that could be crimped on. This could be a macrame loop that the threads come up beyond. Doesn't matter right now. We're not worried about it so much. All we want to figure out is how do we want to connect this? Then your strands would come around, right, and come around, and this would sit kind of like on the side, you know, like, you know, just below your shoulder or something like that. It would sit in line, right? We could use this as a focal, like for Emily's bead embroidery. I have my bead embroidery piece actually right here on the wall that I did with the seed bead embroidery with the disc. You guys remember that one? If you don't, let me pull it. I just pulled it off the wall. Something like that, this green girl piece here, you could seed bead around it, even if I just plopped it right in the center there. Look at how cool something like that would look with this piece, right? So one of the things I think that you might want to, you know, when you're confronted with a piece that you're not really sure about how you want to use, just brainstorm, brainstorm, brainstorm. You know, do I want to make a necklace? Do I want to make a bracelet? How do I want to do this? This is a fairly heavy piece, so this would make, maybe I will make a bead embroidery piece out of it. It's pretty cool. Not today, but you know, it's a pretty cool piece for something like that. So I think what I'm going to do, what I was thinking about this, doing with this, is actually setting it in kind of in line with the piece, so I'd have strands coming up and strands coming down. But let's go ahead and connect and see how things might connect to it. Okay, because can you tell I'm making this up as I go along? I like that part. And you guys are with me, right? You're with me here. So connecting these pieces. So let's get all of our strands, you know, and maybe I'll have it. No, I really want it in line. I think I do. I don't know. We'll see. Do you ever have these conversations with yourself about what you're making? Yes, I'm going to do that. No, I'm going to do that. You know, who knows? Who knows? So I'm going to come in with my 4 strands. I've got 4 strands here. Now, I can make a decision. I can just put all 4 strands wherever I feel like it needs to go. And I can just wire wrap it closed, or wire wrap it or silk wrap it or whatever, right? And then I'd have 4 strands to work with here, okay? But what if maybe I didn't want it to be inline? Maybe I wanted it to be the whole thing, or maybe I wanted 8 strands. So maybe I pull up strands so it's doubling over. Can you see that there? Okay. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'll decide, I'm just going to pull out a length. I don't know. Make this, let me measure it. Let me get the right end of the measuring tape and measure it here. This is about 16 inches on this side. So if I want this to be kind of a longer piece or whatever, I've got plenty of room because 16 inches doubled, that's 32 inches. Okay, so I'm going to get all this out of my way and you can see this. Okay, there we go. So even if I split these in two, it would be 16 inches a side. I've got plenty to work with. And you know what? Maybe as this is kind of playing out in my head, maybe I do like the idea of maybe some tassel-y things or something down here. So maybe what we can do is maybe I just attach it here, and I like the idea of kind of a heavy float, you know, or a heavy, all 8 of these strands. So I am just going to, we could do several things. We could do just a simple overhand knot where I bring it through. I bring everything through and push it down so it's tight, right? But I don't think I'm going to do that. You could, at least not yet, you could bring all 8 of these strands together, the 2 CKC, the leather, and the wax linen. And I could get one of these currants that has these gigantic holes. The currants are recycled glass. That hole isn't quite big enough. Let me get another one and see. Sometimes with large hole beads you have to search it out a little bit to see if it'll work. So you can bring these guys all together. I could get my big eye needle, would help me tremendously here. But let me see if it'll go through. There we go. And I've got one more to put through here. Okay. So this could all come down. Come on now. There we go. This could all come down. And I do this a lot, even on like my fancy necklaces, right? And this is a nice, let me get in a little tight so you can see that. That's a nice, clean connection. And that's it. You didn't have to knot it. You didn't have to do anything. All right? I think it looks kind of good. So this could also, I could split my strands and have my necklace go one way and then go the other. But I think that this is all going to come up this way. Okay? So let me get everything kind of even. And I guess I kind of have Odyssey on the brain, because with Odyssey you also kind of double everything up. You know, you cut some long strands and then double it up. So I guess since I have that on the brain, maybe that's where I'm going with this a little bit. So I don't know if I want, you know how we did on this other one, Emily's Float, how I created little pods of beads. I don't know if I want to create like one giant pod with all 8 of these. Okay, so I think I'm just going to, I pulled some seed beads out. Okay, so let me get that out of the way. I pulled some seed beads out. And this one, you can never go wrong with a 6/0 because the hole is nice and big. And this is the 6/0 Seafoam Green Matte Picasso. And it has that nice Picasso finish on it. Let me get that close to the camera so you guys can see that delicious Picasso finish. Isn't that nice? Then I'm going to make a little bead soup. So I'm going to pour in, how could I not have seafoam lined crystal AB in this bead soup? So I'm going to do that. Okay. Super pretty. Also a 6/0. And then finally this 6/0, it's the 642. It just has the number on it. I don't have the name, I'm sorry, but it's someone will pull, I know Gita, you're going to link it in a second and I'll be able to see it. But look at that nice bead soup that I've got. And I just pulled that color inspiration right from my threads, right? And this kind of has that koi pond, fish pond feel to it. So that's what I conjured up in my mind, this colorway. Okay. So, so then maybe what I'll do is I'll do a series of pods for this. I don't know. You get a little bit tighter so you guys can see this. Oh, someone is. Let me show you what's going on over there, real quick. Look at this. Look at what's happening right over here. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see him, but he's. Can I get him in the photo? There he is. He's reaching out. He's getting perilously close to what I'm doing. Alfred, you just stay right there and be a good boy. Thought you might like to see beading with cats. Always fun, right? Whose idea was this? You just stay right there, Alfred. There we go. I think he wants to be in the shot, so I'll just let him for the moment. Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? All right, back to the beading. So distracting, those little naughty pants, right? Little naughties. So maybe I'll do this in pods of 3. Okay, so I'm going to come in, grab 3 of these threads. Whoops, let me get in the shot here. And I'm going to come in and I'm just going to tie a knot, just like we did in the regular Emily's float. We did it with 3, or 2 before, but now we'll do it in 3. Okay. Now I also don't have to knot this. I could section these off instead of knotting. I could section them off with a wire wrap or with a silk wrap, right? So here's a little 3 right there, and let me put some beads on. Yeah, it does. Cats always make life a little bit challenging, isn't it true? I don't think he wants to bead, Kathy. Kathy said he wants to bead too. I think he actually just wants to sleep undisturbed, and he's not totally pleased that we're in his space for the moment. But you know what, Alfred, you're just gonna have to go with it, because that's how things are when you come to the office, right? Okay, so here is my little pod of beads that I have strung up, and I'll tie another overhand knot. Now I can see already that this is not enough thread at all. So when I said that I cut 16 inches, or well 16, it was like 32 inches and then doubled it over, that is not enough, because knots really take up a lot of room. Though I don't know, maybe, I mean, especially if this were a shorter necklace, but in that case I'm going to show you, I have a game plan. I have a game plan for that. So let me make another little pod. Maybe I'm just going to take this pod of 2 right here, this leather, and maybe this one here. I don't know, this guy. Okay. And let me just put on a few. I don't know. Whatevs, right? I'm doing me. Oh, but you know what I didn't do was I didn't tie a knot. So let me tie a knot first. And then I'll put on a few beads, put on a pod, and then see where it goes. Okay, so here's 1, I don't know, 2. The 6/0 work really well on all of these cords, which is why I grabbed them, because I wanted kind of a good universal bead. Oh, Ginger, I'm glad you like these colors. Ginger just said she likes these colors. You know, these colors are a little outside of my comfort zone, I'll be honest. I am kind of a, I don't know, not always a pastel-y kind of a gal, but I kind of like this. And Mimi, yes, you read my mind. I'm going to show you a little trick here. And the pink beads, Ellen, it's the 6-642 is what these are from the website. Looks like they're a silver lined something, silver lined something fabulous. And let me get these guys here, and I'll do another knot and another pod, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like. Okay. And again, these are just ideas, right? No big deal, right? We're just kind of coming along with what we've got here. So I've tied this knot here, and let me put a few beads on this one. And again, you know, they're only beads, you guys. It's no big. If it doesn't quite work out, you know, ain't no thing. You're just going to say, hey, put it aside and let it, what I like to say, let it simmer, right? Oh, it's the dyed salmon silver lined alabaster. Fantastic. Thank you, Ellen. Great. It's a really pretty color, and I need to remember that kind of pink and salmon and these kind of more delicate colors exist out in the world, because sometimes I pass them by in favor of more vibrant colors, but every color has a place, that's for sure. Okay, so here I've got what's looking like kind of a multi-strand float, right? I've got 2, 3, and 3 there, okay? Now you could pull something together like this. I could make this kind of like a pod of its own, maybe, and get another, let me get these ends together, get another one of those currants and bring them together. I don't know. It may be a disaster, but it may look amazing, so you never know. It's like when you get up in the morning. This day could be amazing or it could be a disaster. You never know. We're just going to have to try it out and see what happens, right? So let's pull all that in. Again, a big eye needle might have made this a little bit easier for me. I know, Kathy, no shadows. I know, shocker. What a shocker. Shadows would look great on this. But even I sometimes have to deviate from my favorite bead. Though it's hard, you know, we gravitate toward our favorites all the time, right? It's hard to kind of break out of that shell. So here's our little fish pond bead that's coming around, right? That's actually not too bad, I think. Then I'm a big fan of asymmetry. So you could very simply, on the other side, if you wanted. I know this is really, some of you are like, oh my God, no. But you could string like some currants on the other side, right? So you could, I don't know, kind of, you know, this is another trick that I do, you guys, when I don't know what the heck I'm doing when I'm stringing, is sometimes I intentionally do one side one way and the other side I contrast. So I could just choose like the turquoise leather, tie it on, and then I could tie all of those on to float on this side. So I don't know, or maybe just string it. Maybe just have like a strand of them come out so it wouldn't be so big. I don't know. But that might work. I don't know. I think it might be kind of cool. But I may like bubbles in the pond. Exactly, Spidey. Yeah, that's perfect. So I mainly wanted to share with you how I'd connect that, right? And yeah, I think, Christine, it might maybe need some more metal. Metal might not be a bad idea on this either. Okay. Let me show you, though, how you get, how I might connect something else to this piece. And this is our delightful, lovely mini hoop that I love, and we talked about it. We used it. Emily did that wire wrap from it, you remember, on the show from Wednesday. The mini hoop is also something that is a go-to for me when I want to like elongate something and I have to add things together. So let me show you. I will put all of these, let me show you instead of talk to you about it. I'll just show you. So let's say that I had to make this longer or I came to the end, or I wanted to add chain like we were talking about earlier, you know, whatevs. No, Kim Crawford, the mini hoop will never go away. Never, ever. As long as it's keep being manufactured, the mini hoop will always be with us. I love it so much. So see how I can kind of bend it over, right? Double it over. And I'm going to silk wrap it. Now, I'm going to silk wrap using this salmon Irish wax linen. And you know what, you guys, let me give you a tip right now on our Irish wax linen. And this is totally crazy thing to say because we love it when you buy our Irish wax linen. You know how it comes in the nests of 10 yards? Well, our 10-yard nests, if you look at the spool, I don't even know how many yards the spool has on it. It has like 1 billion yards, so many yards. Just buy these by the spool. You will save, I'm going to tell you, you're going to save so much money, and you'll always have the wax linen that you need. Okay? So, I mean, if you just want to try it out and have a little portion, great. Buy a nest. But I get my wax linen by the spool, and that way you always have it and you're good to go. So that's my little tip. It's a much bigger money saver when you buy the wax linen by the spool. And we have such amazing colors. The color I'm working with right now for the Odyssey project, and I'll reveal the colorway for you on Thursday so you guys can get a little sneak peek, but I'm calling it Ancient Jade, and I'm using it's the green colorway, why is it escaping me already? The sage colorway for it. It's great. So I can't wait to share the project with you, because when I share it with you, that means it'll be finished. So, all right. That being said, you've seen me silk wrap like 1,000,000,001 times. You can go right over to our skill builders on beadshop.com for an intensive on how to silk wrap. But essentially, I'm laying about 1/3 to 2/3 of the Irish wax linen, and I'm going to wrap this long end around the short end, and very evenly and mindfully. Let me get in a little bit tighter. I know, Kim Crawford, I kind of sold myself on this salmon, too. There was an extra spool that was kind of poking around here, and it kind of landed on my desk like all random things do in this office. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, it's not quite pink, it's not quite orange. It really works for me. So, so I just grabbed it. I love it. So here's my wrap, right? And I just switch hands and I just keep going. Yeah, Dale, the silk wrap takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it, honestly, it's like the first thing that I learned, the first knot, whoops, let me get into frame here. The first knot that I learned how to tie when I came on board at our brick and mortar store way back in the day, okay? But just a little practice, and cut yourself a length of, a few lengths of thread. Even if you try silk wrapping around some scrap leather, that always helps a little bit. I always say a little practice on something that you're not wedded to, so you're not practicing on your piece, so you're not worried about messing it up. That always helps. So see, I've done a nice kind of long, kind of substantial silk wrap. Now I'm just going to take the end of this Irish wax linen, put it through that loop, and now gently pull this back. And Francesca had the question, how tight am I wrapping? Tight enough, Francesca, so visually it looks tight. Let me get really down in there so you can see it. So visually it looks tight. Physically it also feels tight, but it's not so tight that I can't do this next step. Okay, and the thing with Irish wax linen, it's great to silk wrap with, because see how I can let go of all of this stuff and nothing comes unfurled. Okay, so wax linen is a great practice. So now see how that loop, it's coming as I pull on this end of the thread, it's coming underneath. I kind of put my fingers up against that little row of wraps that I made, and can you see how it's just sliding underneath there? Support that. And then I'm going to just pull on both of these ends. This one, let me make this a little bit bigger. And I'll pull on both, one and one. Okay? Then sometimes you have to straighten it out a little bit to tell it who's boss. But then that knot, that loop that captured, right, this strand that captured, it's like down in here somewhere. So you don't need to worry about gluing. And yes, always start wrapping at the opposite end from the loop. You wrap up towards the loop is what you do. Yeah, if you wrap at the wrong end, you're never going to get it right. So I'm going to come in with my old school thread snips, snip that away, and snip that one away. And can you see, let me come in, I'm going to come in and snip like all of this random business off here too, so we can really see this connection. This is a little messy, so let me get rid of it. There we go. Old school thread snips, I love ever so. The leather, it's metallic turquoise, I think, 1 millimeter, Kim, I think is what it is. So you can see here, and notice how I kind of had this in kind of a curve here. So I've got a little bit of differentiation in these strands, so they're not all one up next to each other. So let's take a look at my silk wrap right up here. So see how nice and clean that looks? And this, I mean, this could also be, if I hid this part down here, this could be a tassel, right? It would look like an amazing tassel, right? With just all of this kind of pods, little pods coming down there. It would be really fantastic. And I have, just to go over the threads that I have, yes, 2 strands of CKC. One is 0.4, one is 0.5, though you could use any sizes, doesn't matter. I had 1 strand of turquoise 1 millimeter leather, and, right, is that what I had? Or 2 strands. I had these in long strands and then I doubled them over. You know what I'm saying. So I had a strand of, let me try that again, 0.4 millimeter CKC, 0.5 millimeter CKC, 1 millimeter leather, and the salmon Irish wax linen. Does that make sense? And then I doubled it over, so everything is doubled, right? So I had 4, and now I have 8 with that. So now I could complete this by adding chain, making another, I don't know, connection there. Oh, look at, there's a paw. There was a paw that just swooped in. Nice. Nicely done, Alfred. Let me make this big so you can just see the ridiculousness that's happening on this bead table right now. Just a little paw swipe. What a goofus. But you could take this anywhere you wanted, right? I could have another connection point over here, right? And then I could have strands that come down here. There's all kinds of stuff that you could do. And then I have, for Cynthia's, the closure on this piece. I would close it, you guys, just as I did. Yeah, he's totally after the fish. And I might use that little fish pond button. Let me get up in there nice and close, how you can see how both of these go together so nicely. That little fish pond button would be darling. And so I would finish this off just like I did with this one, right? So I would continue on up here doing whatever I do, right? And, oh, someone... What? Why are you all twitchy now? Just go back to sleep. Go, stop pulling focus. What did W.C. Fields say? Never do a show with kids or pets, right? Now look, now he says, use this yellow leather. Okay, thank you. Alfred. Thank you for that. I'll just go ahead and we'll just put that there. Okay, thanks. But then I would do the other side. I would close it, bring it around, and then do this button on this. So I think it has the starts of a really kind of cool and interesting piece. I know, right? He really wants to get that yellow in there. It's really funny. And I think actually yellow Alfred would be amazing. And we've got the yellow in the currants. So, you know how elephants paint? Maybe this is beating by cat. Who knows? Which one do you like, Alfred? The yellow, the blue, or the green? Okay, this is just really evolved into like a cat tricks instead. Oh my gosh. Well, yes, and he still says keep using that yellow. Keep using. That's going to go on the floor. Anyways, well, before this turns into a crazy cat show, I will bring the camera up and we'll do some signing off here. For the moment, while I close the windows, I'll put the camera on the sleeping kitty, and then I'll move everything around. So I hope you guys enjoyed that idea. We'll see how I morph that, how that morphs out into a new idea. There he is for the moment. We'll put Alfred down while I close up this window so it's not too bright when I say goodbye. There we go. Beating with cats, right? We'll have Alfred choose. Yes, there he is. Yes, be a good boy. Don't be too crazy. And let me turn the camera around. Say goodbye to everybody, Alfred. Go back to sleep. There we go. Let me pull this up and turn this around. And there we go. There we have it. I'm going to pull this down a little bit here, and then we'll be ready. Ready to go. There we are. All right. There we go. I think this is better. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I ever do another broadcast with Alfred right here on the desk with me. But it was fun. So thank you for indulging me with my silly kitty cat. But it's fun. I think we do have some of the Alley Cat mix. Naomi, you asked about the Alley Cat mix. I think what we have in stock now, we make a certain amount of the monthly mixes, and then we sell through them, and then when they're gone. But there are recipes for the mix, so you could buy a tube of each of the things that are in the mix, and then mix your own. So you can make your mix that way in case we run out. So yep, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. I know I did. I think Alfred did too. And so when, and check your newsletters this weekend, you guys. We're having a great store-wide sale right now. So if you want to stock up on everything, including these new pieces from Cynthia, the weekend, now's the time to do it. We are all caught up on orders and ready and waiting for all of you guys. So there's a lot of really fun things. We've got some new things. You can always check the Just In section to find all the new stuff. On Wednesday, Janice and Drea will be broadcasting from the East Coast. I know a lot of you are super excited to watch them put together the Abacus Bracelet. If you haven't done the Abacus Bracelet, you can go online and check out the project now and preload your cart, grab some of those items. It's the bracelet that Janice does that has the movement here, and she uses the Padres. So the Padre beads are great for it. So I'm really excited for Janice to share that with you, one of her first official broadcasts from the East Coast, which is great. And then on Thursday, stay tuned to your newsletters because we'll have more information on it. But that Thursday, stay tuned and you'll see Cara and I live from backstage at Beads, Baubles, and Jewels. It's going to be a fun ride, so you never know who's going to show up. And then for Friday, for Free Tip Friday of next week, we're actually skipping again. I'm sorry, but we'll be flying home. So so you'll get your second dose of videos on Thursday there. Then we'll be back to normal. I'm not traveling anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying put right here. So, but I've got some great holiday projects coming up for you. I can't wait to share. So this fall and into the holiday season is going to be awesome. So, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let me see if I can get this Naughty Pants up to say goodbye to you, because he's still right here on the desk. Come over here. Come over here and tell everybody to have a good weekend. Baby. There he is. He's so fuzzy and such a good boy. There he is. All right. Yes, I will. I promise to stay dry. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys next week. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you guys soon. Say goodbye, everybody, Alfred. Bye, everybody. See you soon.